Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Electronic Harassment Parent Coalition of Palm Springs, California. My name is Kevin Bond, and I'm the host for your show. I'm also the owner of this site. And let's talk emails, okay? I wanted to do a little quick show tonight on things that most gay guys know in Palm Springs that are electronically harassed. And it's something that I have been putting up with for quite some time. But it's something that I think is very important that we realize and we deal with here because a lot of what we know when we are electronically harassed is coming through the computers or through text messages. And I wanted to point out that I have had, oh gosh, several emails from police officers, all from the same Android phone using the City of Palm Springs email, County of Riverside email. And that would be Detective Rhonda Long, Lieutenant Reyes, and Ray Fernandez. And, the tone of the emails that you always get from the police when you're dealing with this situation are always negative. And, my experiences with the Palm Springs Police Department are about 98% negative. About the only good officer that I ever dealt with that I thought was dealing with me fairly, and I mean, I was arrested, was Officer Hackbarth, who I think was, doing his job. And, when people are doing their job, I have no problem with it. But I found him to be, personable and friendly, and in a situation that didn't really make a whole lot of sense, I felt like he treated me like a person. So I, would include him on emails to the Palm Springs Police Department with regards to electronic harassment. Now, it's my experience when you're dealing with the police department that sometimes the canine officers are the best ones of all. They tend to be a little better trained, especially in Palm Springs. They tend to be a little bit more knowledgeable, and they tend to be a little bit more personable, and they also are a little bit more careful in their arrest situations because they're handling an animal. And I want to point out with today's postings that a lot of what I do here on the blog is because the police department threatened me. Officers Villegas and Doherty, in the middle of what was supposed to be a rape investigation and my informant work, called me into the police department and said, you have been calling the chief. Well, yeah. At that time, I had done the informant work for Sergeant Anderson, and I had received a text message death threat from the subject. I know that Lisa talks to the subject, Stephen Fry, all the time, and I knew that she probably had informed him that we were informants. So I get this text message death threat from Stephen's phone, which I put on the blog before. And of course, as soon as I get it, my mom is in the car with me, and she, wrote a quick little thing about what she observed. And I went to the sheriff's department down in Indio and filed a complaint about it and got a restraining order and did that. And lo and behold, I'm doing the research for Sergeant Anderson that he wanted me to do. And I find that since I moved back to this area where I live, at the Joshua Tree Post Office, Stephen Fry has just opened a brand new post office box, which means that he's in the area. And that scared me because here I have a death threat, here I have a restraining order, here I am an informant in the case against him, and now he's moved out to my area. So I started calling the police department. Well, you try to call Sergeant Anderson, and of course the phone would be forwarded. Lisa likes to forward whatever phone she can get her hands on, and contacting my police contact about her drug supplier isn't a good idea for her. So I'm scared because he's out in the area. And of course, Lisa constantly is telling you that she's his best friend, that she has sex with him, that her brother is his boyfriend, all kinds of stuff. She's a very weird girl. So I'm scared for my family, and I'm scared for my life because Here, once again, I've moved out of the area and this crime has followed me, and the police pull me in during my rape investigation and tell me not to contact the police department anymore. So if you have a death threat and you have a restraining order and you are an informant and there's an arrest warrant, you're not supposed to call the police. Does that make sense to anybody? Because it didn't make sense to me either. And you know, they called me in and they called my parents. Then they called my phone. I don't know how they got either phone numbers, but I'm sure Lisa gave them to them. And I got pulled into the police department to go and talk to them. And I walked into the interview, and lo and behold, what they don't know is that I am a human wire. All of my conversations with the police are recorded. And I wanted to make sure that I did what I did with Sergeant Anderson, which was interview them while they thought they were interviewing me. So they go down this list of calls to the police department and the chief, and some of them are like, look, you know, the guy is in the area. I want this guy arrested. But of course, they turn it around to, well, the chief told us that we're going to file criminal charges against you if you ever talk to us about Stephen Fry again, or if you ever call him again. And I looked at them and I said immediately, this interview's over, period. And that's your right as a person that is called into the police department. If you're not under arrest and they're trying to interview you and you don't want to be interviewed anymore, you have the right to say this interview is over. And this is part and parcel of exactly what I was talking about. The police want everybody to believe that they didn't protect a drug dealer. But the fact of the matter is that we were informants against this guy. We had everything that we needed in terms of a warrant, in terms of a restraining order, in terms of a death threat that would have gotten them into his home. And I even told the two officers, listen, you know, I'm an informant. This is what I have. And this is who I did the informant work for. And they could have told Brian, but they didn't. In fact, they told me not to come back there ever again. And you've seen the video of me videotaping me leaving that interview, and I was very upset. And I thought to myself, here once again, as a victim of rape, and the suspect in the rape investigation, because it happened at his home, and they're telling me that I did something wrong. That's pretty much the way it goes. So what I want everybody to understand today about today's postings is emails. One thing that I am aware of when you get multiple officers using one phone to access the city's email system and send you negative kind of emails is that means somebody is probably logging into their system from a private place or a private phone, because I doubt all of them use the same phone. So another thing that has me concerned is you know, if this girl has access to these police officers' emails, what's saying that she doesn't log into one police officer's email and ask for information on an investigation that could involve her or her brother or anybody else and get the information and then do something about it? Everybody assumes that when you get an email, it's from the person that you get it from, but you shouldn't, especially in this case. What I was going to tell you about is if you're an electronic harassment victim in Palm Springs, you have seen these kinds of emails. You get them from somebody and you think, gosh, that's not something that they would say. You know, Anthony Dabieri would never say that. I've never heard him ever even use those kinds of words. So one thing that you need to be aware of is when you're an electronic harassment victim, she knows your logins and your passwords. She knows what accounts you have, and she knows how to get into them. Now, I've devised my own system of not knowing my password. I just copy and paste it from something that I make up, you know, at random. But if she can get into your email account as a police officer and ask for reports or DNA information from the crime lab or a blank report so that she can fill it out and send it to Sergeant Reyes or whatever, I want to make sure that you all understand at the police department that if you're not using your email, it doesn't mean somebody else isn't. Because you need to know what emails have been sent from your accounts. And you need to know what emails have been deleted from your accounts. Because I've sent Sergeant Anderson tons tons of information about Stephen being arrested, about Stephen owing this much money in federal liens, about information about the death threat, about flyers on my door. I sent all kinds of stuff. But she logs in and deletes them as she sees me doing this, which keeps her from getting in trouble. I've also noticed that Officer Hackbarth's account has blocked me from being able to email him because he's a good cop and I tell him the truth. I've also noticed that the city manager, David Reddy, who has always been really nice to me, also did the same thing. And if she can get into the police department's email, she can get into their system too. And you do see one of the victims that I've interviewed says that he got an email from Councilwoman Ginny Vogt saying that because you have bloused your house with these signs that talk about police corruption and electronic harassment, you should leave home. You should move out of the area. Does that sound like something that a city council person would do? Because to me, it sounds like something Lisa would do. Also, you need to understand what this blog is about. This is my work product. This is what I do as an informant. Since I can't go to the police department with the threats that they already gave me, knowing that Lieutenant Reyes is in charge over there now, and knowing that Villegas and Doherty have already threatened me, I don't go there. You know, if the police want to know why I didn't ever come to them anymore with the information that I had, which is rock solid evidence of a crime, they can blame themselves. Because when you threaten the victim of a rape, and then you take the side of the accused rapist and convicted drug dealer, you have put yourself in a position to look like you're soft on crime and hard on gay men. And I just wanted to let everybody know that on the blog today you're going to see some more information about the break-in at the Katzenberg home, where Ken Frank was hired to do some work there, and we believe that he made a lot of copies of whatever computer disks he could find and copied their contact lists and stole movies, stole passwords, stole bank accounts, and gave them to Lisa so that she could hack into their bank accounts, steal money, and contact their friends. Now that's alleged, but we all know that with their movies and stuff were duped, and I have copies of them in my safe. Remember, Kenneth Charles Frank was arrested and convicted for some charges that I believe are probably similar with Earl Greenberg, another executive producer from NBC who has now passed away. So this would not be out of character for him to steal or for her to steal from other people so that he could get drugs and pay her off. Now, I just wanted to be clear on this. I wanted to make sure everybody knows that this blog is informational. It's for the parents of the victims of this crime. This is also for Christopher Monty to know that I'm fine. I'm working my ass off all the time to try to make sure you have a better experience here in California because I promised your mom. This is also informational for Sergeant Anderson because I can't get to you without some of these other police officers trying to arrest me for that warrant that you know doesn't need to be in existence. So I just want to let everybody know I'm his informant. That is my work product. This is where you go to find out the truth. And the only person that's ever tried to shut this thing down is the woman that I was told was Lisa by Jonathan Mendenhall. So that's what I wanted to say, and I hope you guys all have a great day. Oh, one other thing I wanted to say. Lisa has a tendency to say how much she hates me. She hates me, she hates me, she hates me. That's all I hear all day long. Look, my opinion is this. I don't know her well enough to hate her. You know, hate and love are very close emotions. They require a very personal relationship. I don't have any feelings of love or attraction for this person. Never have, never will in the future. But I don't know her well enough to hate her. I don't have a personal relationship with her. But for her to sit there and tell people that she hates me, that's a joke. That's because she's been following me for years. And that's the reason why she hates me so much. Have a great day. Love you, Christopher. Bye.